What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I want to continue my series on break and runs by giving you two racks. And on the first rack, I'll be wearing my GoPro like I've done before. But on the second rack, I want to try out my new toy that I just recently got called the Ordro. And I can wear this one on my head like this. So the point of view is going to be slightly different than the GoPro, as it'll be slightly off to the right of the cue, but you should still be able to see where I'm hitting at on the cue ball. So let's give this a try. So for this first rack, I'm going to try to break and run a rack of 9-ball while wearing the GoPro. And just like how I normally do, I will commentate on each shot so that way you can see how I try to break down the rack. Now, if you've seen my master breaking the 9-ball rack video, you should now know that I have a high predictability of knowing where all 9 balls are going to go after the break. So on this rack here, I am trying to get the 1 ball to just pass the side pocket, though sometimes it might fall. But if it passes the side pocket, it'll catch the side rail and then end up over here set up for this corner pocket. The 6 ball should bank off of this side rail here and then land somewhere in this area over here, while the 3 ball will bank off of this side rail and then head towards this side pocket. The 4 ball should go into the corner pocket. The 9 ball hopefully really shouldn't move unless a ball kicks it out of the rack. The 7 ball should go 3 rails, possibly head towards this side pocket, but more than likely end up over here by this corner pocket. The 8 ball will bank off of the side rail and then start heading towards the other side of the table. And then there's a correction I have to make with the 5 ball. Because in my last video, I said that the 5 ball banks off of the side rail and then ends up somewhere over here set up for the corner pocket. When in fact, it actually goes to the short rail and then still ends up in the predicted spot where there still might be a clutter between the 8 and the 5. And then the 2 ball should bank off of the short rail and then head towards this corner pocket. And then as I did mention before, since a lot of balls are passing through this area here, there might be a collision, and that could change the entire results. But let's see how this break goes. So you can see we had a small collision up here, which is why the 2 ball is where it's at, because the 7 ball was heading up over here. But the 3 ball is heading towards the side pocket. The 6 ball is pretty much where it's at. We can see that the 9 ball got kicked out of the rack, but the 5 and 8 ended up where I expected them to be, as well as the 4 ball dropping. So now with this spread, it looks like the 1 ball passes by the 2. So we're just going to play a stop shot on the cue ball. And then with the 2, we can push the cue ball to the short rail with a little bit of right spin to set up for the 3. Now I'm almost straight on the 3. I have a bit of a cut angle, but I can play a stop shot on the 3 to set up for the 5. So I think with the 5, I am going to play another stop shot, and I can be set up for the 6 in the side. Now with the position that I have on the 6, the only thing I can do is push the cue ball to the side rail and then have a lot of left spin to bring the cue ball hopefully down here for position on the 7 to go into the corner pocket. Whew, pretty lucky that I avoided the scratch, but now getting position on the 8 is going to be a little tricky. So I think what we're going to try to do is have the cue ball come off of the short rail first, and then try to make the 7 into the corner pocket. Now with the position that I have on the 8, I can try to cut it into the corner pocket and have the cue ball come 2 rails back out for the 9, hopefully for the same corner pocket. Nine ball, corner pocket. For the second rack, I'm going to try to break and run another 9-ball rack, but this time while wearing the Ordro. And I'm still going to commentate on each shot so you can see how I try to break the rack down, but this time, let me try to see if I can get all the balls to behave on the break. Well, not quite, because the 3-ball fell into this side pocket because it got kicked by the 7, as the 7-ball actually headed towards the side pocket after the 3rd rail instead of down towards the corner. But I do have the 1, 2, and the 7 down here as expected, and the 5, 8, and the 6 and the 9 are up there as expected. So we can see with the position of the 1 ball, I have a bit of a cut angle, so I can just try to stun the cue ball out this way for position on the 2 to go into the same pocket. And then from the 2 to the 5, I can just push the cue ball to the short rail and have it come back towards the middle of the table. Now I got a bit of an angle on the 5, so I can either try to draw it back, but I have to be able to avoid the 8 by doing that, or I can try to push it forward and still avoid the 8 and the 9, so that probably means I'm going to put some right spin and try to get the side rail to come into play and bring the cue ball back for position on the 6. Now, since I'm fairly straight on the 6, I can either push forward or I can try to draw back. But in this case here, I am going to try to draw back for position on the 7. Now to get back up towards the 8, because I'm fairly straight on the 7, and with a leveled cue, I would end up causing the cue ball to hit the side rail too soon, when I want to hit the side rail rather late just to get closer to the 8 ball. So I'm actually going to kind of elevate my cue a little bit to try to get closer. And it didn't work. You can see how the cue ball hit the rail and then still came this way when I really wanted it to drag up this way and be closer to the 8-ball. But with the shot that we have here, I can try to draw the cue ball back to the side rail and have position for the 9 to go into the same pocket. Nine ball, corner pocket. So what'd you think of that? Because the reason why I got the Ordro is so I can start putting my GoPro back above my table to give you an aerial view like how I did with the Nick Varner 9-ball drill. That way, maybe in future videos, I can give you 3 point of views all at once. The main view here, an aerial view, plus the view of the Ordro. Because even though the GoPro appears to have better picture quality than the Ordro is a lot more comfortable to wear. But let me know what you all think about this in the comment section below. And if you like what you saw, then please give this video a thumbs up. Maybe consider sharing it. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to click the bell icon to be notified whenever I publish a new video or go live. Take care, everybody.